just tested the Bmc Timemachine. I did around 700 kilometers on the bike. Here are my thoughts.
Money.
Was again 56, so one size too big. Everything else, I think it was pretty much as the same as I would want it. Maybe the handlebar width should be a little bit slimmer. Other than that, everything was pretty spot on. So this is an aero bike, so what you would want from an aero bike, that it's really fast, rigid even, so when you push the pedals, it doesn't bend, it doesn't flex. To be honest, it should be a little bit smoother, since if the aero bike or if the bike is a little bit smoother, then you go through if the road isn't like as nice as in velodrome, it's even faster. So that's also one of the reasons that why you shouldn't pump your tires too much, because if the road isn't as good, so the ride is pretty bumpy, you would lose the speed all the time through the whole ride. So yeah, it's better if you don't pump the tires too much. So I'm around 90 kilograms, so I ride them around 7 bars. So now with Tubolito, I think the front tire arrived 6.7, 6.8. So yeah, I even rode it once when I think it was around 4.5, and it was still okay. But on descents, yeah, you could feel it. It's not as good as I would have wanted. So the things that I don't like about the bike, I think BMC could do a little bit better job of lightening the bike, because with Berk saddle and Tubolito tubes, it weighs around 8 kilograms, so it's not the lightest bike on the market. But when you go through the bike, you see a lot of details that can be thinner or lighter, or maybe just change them and just put something else on it. For example, the seat post, and also the front disc brake caliper. Maybe it's because of the aerodynamics, but I think it's possible to do it differently. Anyways, the bike is a couple of years old, so I hope they will do, let's say, some kind of remake or part 2 of the bike, because the bike's really good. The first ride that I did, yeah, the average speed was pretty high, maybe because it was the new bike and I wanted like to really push it. On the other hand, I know that I didn't like over exaggerate it, so yeah, I was blown away after the first ride, but I was just like, okay, calm myself down.
Take care of this. Calm down. Get off.
Doctor, you're one on the phone.
I went on another ride, and that's where like I still can't believe how fast it rides. When you try to push it past 35 kilometers per hour, you just want to go like faster. So I pushed it like 35, then it went to 40, and after that like 45, and I was riding like 50 kilometers per hour on the straight, and I just wanted to push even more. So yeah, it was like it's a really fast bike. On the second ride, I did also a little bit longer ascent. Compared to the previous bikes I rode, I didn't feel that big of a difference, but I think you feel it like on a really steep climbs, especially if they are a little bit longer, that the bike is a little bit heavier. That's probably the biggest drawback of the bike. And the second one, I think it can be changed, but the handlebar with the stem that BMC uses, you feel a little bit of a flex when you really push the bike, like on the uphills, if you push like higher watts, and maybe probably also on the sprints, but I didn't notice that, but you feel a little bit of the bend. So probably if you take the one-piece handlebar, it's better. So I think the wheels, the Enve wheels, really complement the bike really good. On the previous bikes, I think I had fulcrum R4 carbon, and on the road machine I had something from the Swiss, also carbon wheel. And these wheels, I think, are far superior than those two. They are probably a little bit more expensive, but when you ride the bike with these wheels, for an aero bike they're really fast, but the downside is you hear the spokes mid-ride, especially when it was really hot. I'm a little bit disappointed by that, but other than that, like from all the wheels that I've tested, like I think I would want these wheels, even though they're not the lightest, even though you hear that crack, even if they are not the most silent wheels in the world. They're like, when you go fast, they just, I think it's because of the wheels, you just want to go even faster. Bonus points of this bike, I still think there are some of the bikes that look better on the market, but compared to how it rides, when you look at it from a different angle, when you go through the bike really good, I think it's amazing. So the things I didn't like is the Aero integration of the bottle cages. To me it looks cheap. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Also the Aero module, to me again it looks just cheap. They don't appeal to me, so if I was BMC I would just throw that away, normal bottle cages, and that's it. Computer bike mount also is a little bit, or at least on my bike, you could hear it all the time when going through some bumps, so I'm not sure why, but yeah, that's also not the best thing. So Sram Force, when I previously tried it, this is the AXS version. I tried the normal one. The brakes were shitty. It shifted okay, but compared to this one, again, I had a, let's say, a pretty bad memory of Sram Force. So now with this AXS version, yeah, I think maybe the brakes are too sharp. When you go downhill, it's hard to adjust, let's say, mid-turn, because if you brake too much you can easily fall, especially if it's wet or the conditions aren't the best. What you notice is the disc brakes. I think with the brake pads are too close to the rotor, so you really hear the rotor. So, but that's just my thing, because maybe now we're a little bit used to disc or the rotor sliding into the brake pads, but I just think it's not, let's say, how do you say it, it's not a nice view when somebody next to you with a cheaper bike, it's all silent, and on your bike, this was I think around 8,000 euro or 7.5 euro, you hear everything. So yeah, that's not the best. How would I grade the bike? So comfort level, really smooth. Compared, it's an aero bike. I was impressed. The first feeling was really good. Probably the only thing that I noticed on the first ride is how fast it is, and the handlebar, that that's bending a little bit. And on the climbs, like if they're really short one, like in the classics, stuff like that, I think this bike is it's really fast. So also on the climbs, on the descents, on straight roads, yeah, I think it's probably one of the fastest bikes. My final conclusion, it probably says a lot that even though you saw a lot of like minuses of this bike, but yeah, I just ordered it for myself because it was like so fast, I didn't believe it. So I'm waiting. I hope I'm gonna get it by the end of the year or close to end of this year, but yeah, I ordered it with Dura Ace Di2 12-speed. For sure we're gonna put some bling on it as well, so it doesn't look like a normal Bmc Timemachine. So just wait for that one, and yeah. If you have any questions, just let me know and I will answer all of those. So yeah, hope you enjoy this kind of, let's say, just my thoughts, and you have all the technical details and everything else on the bike on the BMC webpage, so I won't be too bothered going through those. But